So hi there, Legacy Doctors. I'm back with Charles Van Kessler and our second of 4 segment interview with Charles. He's been gracious enough to give us his time here on a holiday weekend. And he is the creator and founder of Passion for Life, the nutritional supplement we use in our office that I use personally. And I want Charles to just share candidly in this particular segment how you came up with Passion for Life, where it came from, really just kind of your story. Chiropractors out there and people that are watching these Legacy training videos, we all have a story. There's a reason why I became a chiropractor. I've shared that story with Legacy members, and there's a reason why certain businesses are founded. But what's your reason? What's your story behind how and why Passion for Life came to be?
Well, I was born and raised in Amsterdam, Holland. I was born in 1941, right when the Second World War started. Most of my family was taken away by the Nazis. I remember it like yesterday. I was 2 years old. And so I was put in an orphanage for 8 years. I spent 8 years of pretty good abuse of every kind you can imagine in orphanage. We ate flower bulbs for survival. Can you imagine? I mean, seriously. Yeah. So when I came to America in 1964, I started looking for vitamins. Everyone that heard my story said, you need to take vitamins, because my body was aching, my mind was messed up, I was depressed, I had migraines, I was a disaster, walking disaster. Yeah. Can imagine. So I took handfuls of vitamin pills, literally for years, not really doing much for me. And I couldn't figure out what the reason for it was. So I started studying in between my 2 jobs that I had to work. I started studying at a young age about nutrition and the vitamin phenomenon in America. You know, why do 250 million people take everyday hard-to-swallow vitamin pills when 80% of it goes straight down to the sewage system?
That's right.
Didn't make sense to me. So I really got involved in studies and research for the next 20 years about nutrition and about vitamins. I had many meetings with biochemists, bioengineers, PhD researchers, alternative doctors, and finally, after several decades, literally, I decided to one day create something that will help me.
Right.
That's why Passion for Life was created. Yeah. I figured if I can do this, and I knew I can, because I felt wholeheartedly that God gave me this vision for Passion for Life.
Right.
I mean, how a little boy coming out of an orphanage in Amsterdam, Holland can create, you know, a product like this.
Right.
It's a God-given vision. I followed up on it. And after all these studies and many decades of research, I said, I'm going to create this product, which was in 1996. Yeah. What I didn't know was that you just don't put 135 ingredients in a big pot and stir it and say, here it is. So there went another 8 years of further trials and tribulations. Till actually we had the product in 2006. Wow. And we test marketed it with amazing results.
And just recently you got accepted into a big store, is that right?
Yeah, Whole Foods just approved our product after looking at it for a couple of months. So that's huge.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is.
Your story is so touching. You know, my grandparents were in concentration camps in Germany. We talked about that before, you and I. And what's really touching about your story is that there's chiropractors out there and people watching this video right now that have gone through 2 months of trials and tribulations in practice and probably are thinking about stopping practice because of it. But you went through 8 years of all this research. You went through all this, you know, abuse as a child, which is hard enough to overcome. And then you finally come up with what you think is right, and it takes you 8 more years to come up with, and that is true passion. I mean, that where you got that title is brilliant, because that is really having a real purpose and a real passion behind what you do. And so many chiropractors, I mean, I feel like I was put on this earth to be a chiropractor, to be a teacher, to be a leader. That's my calling. And chiropractors out there have their own personal experience on being with a chiropractor or having a family member saved by a chiropractor, which is why they wanted to become a chiropractor. And we talk in Legacy all the time about finding your purpose. The only way to truly be successful is to find your purpose. And you have your purpose and your passion, which is brilliant. So, you know, I really thank you for sharing that, because it's important in many aspects, not just for this supplement, but for many aspects for these chiropractors and people that are watching these videos to see your story and understand that, you know, if you have real passion and real purpose, you will overcome all the trials and tribulations to achieve greatness. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Charles is an amazing human being. You know, I've known him for probably over, you know, year and a half now, 2 years. Right. And he's always got the same energy and the same enthusiasm, and he exudes his product, and we as chiropractors, we need to exude our product. This is just another way for us to live life at the fullest and optimum potential. So stay tuned for our next segment, and thank you again, Charles, for being here.
My
You're
pleasure.
fabulous.
Thank you.